What's up, it's Susie. Today we are doing a whole smoked chicken on the Weber kettle, and I'm showing you a super simple, incredibly tasty brine that you can use over and over again. Let's do it. Brining a chicken is the best way to keep it juicy. It makes it really flavorful on the inside, and you can brine with just simple salt and water. Ratios are easy, a cup of kosher salt to a gallon of water, but I like a little more oomph in my brine, so we're jazzing it up. Basics of the brine, we have the 1 cup of kosher salt to the gallon of water, goes straight into my brine bag. I've also got a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. I think sugar provides a really great sweetness in a brine, and because we're gonna be cooking this low and slow, I don't have to worry about it burning, but it's gonna give us a really good classic barbecue-y flavor. I've also got 1/2 cup of Tabasco sauce. The acidity and the heat in here provides a really beautiful counterbalance to the sweetness and the savoriness we have going on. Plus, just to round out some of the flavors and add an additional layer of color, a couple tablespoons of my sweet rub. You can use your favorite barbecue seasoning, or you can pick up a bottle of this from my store. Once you got your liquid in, give it a whisk, make sure all of the salt and brown sugar is dissolved. It's time to add your chicken. Now, I find that a gallon of brine could probably cover 2 small chickens or a nice big sized turkey. I like to brine my chicken's breast side down, so I make sure that the leanest part is fully submerged. I'm brining my chicken in a bag, so I'll squeeze out the excess air, close it up tight. If you don't have a bag to brine in and you maybe have a deeper container, just make sure that it is fully submerged. You can usually set a plate on top to ensure that the poultry stays underneath the top line of that brine. This chicken's gonna go into the refrigerator. I like to plan at least 1 hour per pound for brining. So generally when I'm doing whole chickens, I'll make my brine in the morning, leave them in there all day while I'm at work, and then my chicken's ready to cook when I get home. Into the fridge. All right, we have our beautifully brined chicken. Now it's time to smoke. I've got my charcoal grill preheating right now. I'm shooting for a target temperature between 225 and 275. I'm gonna be smoking this chicken with some apple wood chunks. This also works really well if you have a pellet smoker or an offset smoker. Anytime you can use that low temperature and get really beautiful smoky flavor is a fantastic way to cook poultry. Now, like I said, I'm cooking with apple wood today, but any kind of mild hardwood works great. I would say maple, pecan, cherry, those kind of lighter woods. Heavier woods tend to overwhelm poultry, so things like hickory or mesquite can sometimes pull a little bit heavy. But if you like a super smoky flavor, by all means, I just prefer it a little bit lighter so I can taste the chicken itself. My chicken is lovely and brined. It's time for phase 2. I'm gonna tuck my wingtips so they don't burn while they're on the grill. I'm gonna stuff the inside of my chicken with some aromatics. I've got a quartered onion, I've got some fresh thyme, and I've got some sliced lemons. And all of these kind of slowly heat up as the chicken is cooking and add some really beautiful flavor from the inside of the chicken as well. I also want to take care of the skin of our chicken. Now, generally at lower temperatures, the skin of poultry can dry out and become rubbery, so we're going to do our best to combat that during the cooking process. The first step is slathering the outside of the skin with Tabasco sauce. This is going to create a moisture kind of barrier on the outside of the chicken skin. We really want to keep it moist during the cooking process so that the fat renders and the skin becomes bite through instead of dry and leathery. On top of that Tabasco binder, I'm gonna season the chicken with my sweet rub. Now, this is not a sprinkle and rub situation. If you touch the seasoning after it's on the chicken, it will pull away, it will clump. Give yourself a nice even coat across the top, and you're good to go. Chicken's ready, let's prep our grill. I will be cooking this over indirect heat, so I'll be moving my coals all the way to one side of the grill and kind of spreading them out so the temperature stays nice and low, shutting down the vents so I don't have too much airflow. All of those things will help keep the temperature down. I'm also gonna add those wood chunks to the top of my charcoal and then put the chicken on the side of the grill where there is no direct heat underneath. Now our chicken is on the grill. We're clocking right about 250. I think this chicken generally will take around 2 hours at that temperature, the size that the chicken was. But of course, we're using a thermometer to check temperatures. When it hits about 160 degrees in the breast meat, I'm gonna pull that chicken off and let it rest. But While it's smoking, there are a couple things we need to do. I've got some additional wood chips that I'll be adding to the charcoal. If I see that my smoke dies out and I want to keep that flavor going, I'll add a couple additional chunks. And then every 30 to 45 minutes during the cooking process, I'm going to spray the skin of my chicken with avocado oil. This is another measure in preventing that chicken skin from drying out and becoming leathery or rubbery while it's cooking at low temperatures. This will help us have a really beautiful bite-through chicken skin that tastes absolutely delicious. Our chicken has been on the grill for about 2 hours and 45 minutes, creeping up on 3 hours, and you have to take a look at how beautiful this chicken is. This is the perfect mahogany color. Thickest part of the breast is reading right about 160 degrees, which is exactly where I want it. So we're gonna take this chicken off and let it rest for a couple minutes, and then we get to eat it. This might be one of the most beautiful chickens I've ever cooked in my life, actually. It's so pretty. So one of the big things that I really believe in is once you start cooking and understanding temperatures and times and things like a brine and these simple techniques, you never have to settle for dry or boring or bland chicken ever again. Look at, I mean, even just the moisture just from that one slice. This is gonna be a very juicy chicken. I don't wanna take the whole thing apart just yet. I'll carve it up for my family, but I feel like I deserve a little sample slice, you know? I'm just gonna come in right here and take a little piece just for me. Okay. I mean, I don't wanna ruin it. That is a really shiny, juicy, beautiful piece of chicken. Oh my gosh. Now, obviously, I think this chicken is phenomenal, but I have to read you this amazing comment that I got on the website. This is from Steven Bradshaw. He says, outstanding flavor. I cooked 2 on my Weber kettle, just like we did, with the rotisserie attachment. So easy and so good. 5 stars. That's exactly what we're talking about. So easy, so good. I hope you love the 5-star chicken. Thanks, Steven. See you guys next time.